Korey Hicks here, and today we're going to be talking about chunking information specifically for learning guitar solos note for note. So this is something that I noticed that a lot of students don't know how to do in the beginning, and that's totally fine. I was the same way. But this method is really going to be helpful for learning solos, being able to retain that information so you don't have to refer back to the tablature. Now, what's the main culprit here? The main culprit is people are trying to learn the entire song and then work it up to a performance level. And that's not, in my opinion, the best way to do it. So today we're going to use something that you're going to probably have to play at some point in your life anyway. Happy birthday. So I'm putting that on the screen right now, and we're going to be doing this in the key of C. So let's get to it. So first of all, notice on here, we're going to be in the key of C major. So I'm going to be first thinking of, don't reach for the notes yet, I'm going to be thinking of what is my scale in that location. Okay, so I have, my lowest note of the C major scale in this location is E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so this is a C major scale in the open position. And so we want to be familiar with the scale or the pattern that the solo is from. We don't want the solo or the melody to be brand new information that we've never seen before, because then you're memorizing two things. You're memorizing what the scale is, and you're also going to be memorizing what the notes are and trying to get a feel for it. The reason I'm using Happy Birthday today is because it's something you've all probably sang before. It's going to be instantly recognizable to you. So let's start off with the very beginning here. We have... Okay, that's the open G string. I'm going G, G, A, G, okay? And so it's really helpful to start thinking of these in terms of notes instead of frets, because if I play Happy Birthday in the key of F, it's not 0, 0, 2, 0, it's 5, 5, 7, 5, or if I do it in the key of A flat. Okay, if I think of it in terms of solfege syllables, 5, 5, 6, 5, 1, 7, then it's a lot easier to memorize, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with this idea of the gatekeeper. So I'm only going to move forward in the song if I can get this perfectly on a consistent basis. So I'm going to loop this. So go ahead and play with me. It should feel exactly the same every time you do it, okay? Now that we have that, we can add a couple more notes. C, B, okay? Happy birthday to you. That's the first part of the song, okay? And so now I have this part of the song kind of under my fingers. I'm going to loop it. I'm not going to continue on. I always notice students do this. They want to get to the next note. So I do this myself. I act like this is the entire song. I just act like that's the entire song. I don't have any desire to move forward in the song. I just keep repeating that, okay? So it takes a little while for these things to kind of end up in your memory, especially play them in the future and retain that stuff over the course of, weeks, months, years, that type of thing. Okay, so let's practice that. I encourage you to sing along with it as well. Just like me, you don't have to be a great singer to be able to do that. Okay, so now I can start putting together the rest of the song. Now you'll notice in the next measure, it's the same basic melody, but the tail of it is different. That's a D to a C, or the second note of the scale to the first note of the scale. So if you've gotten that far, then we can go back to the very beginning, and I'm going to loop this. Let's just do it 3 times. I'm going to stop, start over again. I'm going to do it the 3rd time. Okay? So now we have that part of the song. So, adding the next part, I'm going to go back to the beginning again. So this is how chunking works. Don't get so just caught up in getting the whole thing learned and getting impatient. you got to go back to the beginning because you got to put the whole thing together as one statement. Now I go back to the beginning again. And one last time. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to add 3 notes. C, B, A. Okay, so 1, 7, 6. Okay. And now we're going to do that 3 times. Again. And one more time. Okay, so now I want to bring up another thing about memorizing stuff. Just because you know where the notes are does not mean that you know how to play it or that you can play consistency. Playing it a couple of times in a row without any mistakes is our gatekeeper. If you can do that, you can move on. So I find a lot of beginners and intermediates as well, when they are learning solos, they think that if they know where the note is located, that grants them access to the rest of it or to the next phrase. And I'm going to say consistency, being able to play it multiple times in a row, is what we are going for here. Let's add the very last part, okay? So. All right, so let's play it one more time together. All right, so if that was in any way challenging for you, then that is going to be a nice test for how much you can handle, right? Maybe you shouldn't be working on Stairway to Heaven or Cliffs It Over or something like that. Maybe you should stick within things that you can play really well. I think it's really helpful to learn basic melodies. And let me give you one more thing that I think is really important. And that's going to be moving this to other keys. So if I understand how it works in C, if I move everything up 1 fret, so now I'm in the key of C sharp major or D flat major. And how do we know what key we're in with this pattern? Well, pattern 3, look for your middle finger on the B string. So if I wanted to play Happy Birthday in the key of E, I'm going to find a E note on the B string, okay, like this. Then the pattern would be right underneath it, 1 finger per fret. Okay, so Happy Birthday here. All right, and if you'd like to learn real solos note for note and go through this type of process, you can go over to my Patreon, and that information is in the description below. And for $5 a month, you can also see all these tutorials for things. I have transcriptions, I have tabs, I have scales, chords, triads, arpeggios, all the practicing plans I talk about. You can gain access to me for lessons if you want to reach out to me for lessons over there. So Patreon, a great place to reach out to me for $5 a month. Also, if you want to like, share, and subscribe this video, that would be great. I'd love to have you join us for some more topics as well. So thank you for joining me today. Take this to heart about learning things note for note. Just go slow. It's actually by going slow, you're going to get there faster. All right, I hope you have a great day. Peace.